Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA.
The WNBA just lost their golden goose, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks with a left quadriceps strain, the first time she's ever missed a non-preseason game since her sophomore year in college.
Caitlin Clark will miss at least the next 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The Fever are currently 2-2 on the year. Clark has started all 4 games so far and is averaging 19 points, 9.3 assists, and 6 boards per game. The Fever said more updates will be provided after doctors reevaluate her.
But here's what's really infuriating. This injury might be connected to a preseason quad tightness that was never properly addressed. Was Clark playing hurt this whole time while getting hammered by dirty players and ignored by corrupt referees? The timing couldn't be worse, and the league is already in full panic mode. Let's wish Caitlin a speedy recovery by commenting, "Get well soon CC" down in the comments below. Let's go.
The Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight. Caitlin Clark's out 2 weeks.
Was Caitlin Clark playing on a damaged leg this entire time while everyone looked the other way? The evidence is starting to pile up, and it's absolutely maddening. During that Liberty game on May 24th, something wasn't right with Clark from the start. Her shots were falling short all game long, missing that explosive power we're used to seeing from her deep-range attempts. But here's what really should have raised red flags. Video footage caught Clark using a heat pack on her leg during the actual game. You don't need a medical degree to know that means she was already dealing with pain.
There is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing.
Coach Stephanie White admitted after the MRI results came back that she wasn't even sure exactly when Clark got injured. Think about that for a second. The team only found out something was seriously wrong when they got a message after the game. White said, "I'm glad that she did because we need to nip this in the bud," referring to Clark finally speaking up about her discomfort. That tells you everything you need to know about how Clark was hiding her pain.
I'm at the game. Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured. And ironically, that is probably the best case scenario. That is probably the best thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a bad thing. And trust me on this, it is probably the best case scenario that she's been actually playing through this and she was able to play through this fine.
Let's be real about what happened here. This wasn't some freak accident during the Liberty game. Clark missed the Fever's preseason opener because of a left quad tightness. Now she's got another quad injury in the exact same leg. The team keeps saying this new injury is separate from the preseason issue, but come on. When the same muscle group fails twice in the same season, that's not coincidence. That's a pattern.
Maybe this will be the wake-up call that the WNBA needs to clean up the officiating, to actually show that they appreciate this golden goose that has landed in their lap that goes by the name of Caitlin Clark. It's been so long where we've just seen this girl getting beat up in games. We see her get grabbed, hacked, bumped into, knocked on the floor. There's never any whistles from her.
Here's what makes this whole situation even more infuriating. Clark has been getting hammered by physical play for 2 straight years, through her rookie season until the first few games of this year. Defenders have been allowed to grab her, bump her off screens, and deliver hard fouls with minimal consequences from referees. Every game, she's absorbing contact that would get flagged for other players. The targeting has been obvious, and the officials have done nothing to protect their biggest star.
What was that play? Oh my God, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack!
White's comment about great players hiding injuries hits the nail on the head. Clark felt pressure to keep playing through whatever discomfort she was experiencing. She probably thought she could push through it like she has everything else. But this time, her body said no. The terrifying reality is that Clark has been playing hurt while getting pounded by defenders who knew the refs wouldn't protect her.
League is still resentful of her, it's still jealous of her, and it's still trying to put her in her place and give her nothing, make her earn something that she already earned last year when she put this league on the national map. For the first time ever, it was really, really and truly on the national map.
This injury was completely preventable. Proper rest after the preseason strain, better officiating to stop the targeting, and medical staff recognizing the warning signs could have avoided this disaster. Instead, everyone looked the other way while the league's most important player's body broke down. Now the WNBA faces their worst nightmare, and their immediate panic response shows just how much they depend on one person.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television, is out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, more like 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, because remember, that's when she gets reevaluated. More like 4 to 6 weeks.
Within hours of the injury announcement, the WNBA's worst nightmare became reality. League executives who had been riding high on Clark's popularity suddenly faced the terrifying prospect of empty arenas and plummeting ratings. The panic was immediate and visible. Teams that had gambled big on Clark's drawing power were now staring at potential financial disasters.
And I'm already seeing people saying, I'm taking a break. I'm already seeing people say, I'll be back in a little bit. These numbers are going to go down. The owners are going to walk into those negotiation rooms feeling themselves. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... Again, they're lucky this is only a rumored 2 to 4 weeks. Because if the news was the season, people would tune out 100%.
The Washington Mystics had already moved their upcoming game against the Fever to a larger venue in Baltimore, banking on the massive crowds that follow Clark everywhere she goes. Now they're dealing with refund requests from fans who bought tickets specifically to see the player sensation. You know what's embarrassing? Having to explain to disappointed fans that the only reason they upgraded venues was because of one player, and now that player isn't coming.
There is one thing, no doubt, that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that moved their games, this is about to be catastrophic for them. And it's kind of funny.
The Chicago Sky made an even bigger bet, moving their Fever matchup to the United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls. This massive arena upgrade was supposed to showcase the league's growth and popularity. Instead, it's looking like a potential disaster with thousands of empty seats. Imagine the optics of a nearly empty United Center during a nationally televised game. That's the kind of embarrassment that sets a league back years.
Yep, that's the Baltimore game. I believe that's about a 15,000 seat arena situation. This one's at the United Center in Chicago. Good luck getting anybody there. I mean, seriously.
Here's the thing that should terrify WNBA executives. Their entire revenue model depends on a 23-year-old player. The May matchup between the Fever and Sky set a new record as the most-watched WNBA broadcast in ESPN's history, drawing 2.7 million viewers and peaking at 3.1 million. Those numbers don't happen because people love the league. They happen because people want to watch Caitlin Clark. CBS Sports and other broadcasters are already bracing for a massive ratings drop. Advertisers who paid premium rates for Clark games are probably having some uncomfortable conversations with their media buyers right now. The league built their entire marketing strategy around one person, and now that person is hurt.
Will this be the wake-up call the WNBA needs? Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now we are going to see what you guys, not just the Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can churn over without her.
Attendance projections for upcoming Fever road games show the harsh reality. Without Clark, these games go from must-see events back to typical WNBA matchups with modest crowds. Teams that were planning special promotions and expecting sellouts are now looking at half-empty arenas and disappointed fans. The WNBA just learned they built their house on sand, and now it's crumbling. 26 years into the league's existence, they finally found their superstar, and their negligence in protecting her is costing them everything. The financial scramble happening behind closed doors shows just how dependent they've become on Clark's star power. But while league executives panic about their bottom line, something even more disgusting was happening online as news of the injury spread.
So a lot of you are like, this is perfect. All right, because the WNBA accused the fandom and gave validity to some online trolls. Oh, by the way, I wonder if the WNBA has given validity to some other online trolls.
While real basketball fans felt heartbroken, some corners of social media threw a party. The announcement of Caitlin Clark's injury immediately triggered a wave of disgusting celebration posts, particularly from Angel Reese fans and Chicago Sky supporters. These people were actually celebrating that a 23-year-old player got hurt. Let that sink in for a minute. The toxic reactions flooding social media exposed something rotten in women's basketball. Posts celebrating Clark's injury spread across Twitter and Instagram, with users expressing glee that the league's biggest star was sidelined. Some fans openly admitted they were happy Clark couldn't play against their favorite teams. Others made jokes about the injury and suggested Clark was faking it for attention. The level of hatred directed at one player was absolutely shocking.
There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. And these are all people that are in the "we don't hate Caitlin Clark, we just hate her fans" crew. No, they don't. They hate Caitlin Clark. They say we hate her fans just so that they can have an excuse. They hate her. They hate her.
This behavior connects directly to the season-long pattern of targeting Clark faced on the court. Players have been allowed to grab her, bump her off screens, and deliver hard fouls without consequences. The officials looked the other way while defenders took cheap shots. Now their toxic fan base is celebrating the inevitable result of that targeting. You can draw a straight line from the dirty play to the online celebration.
You have got people out here wishing ACL injuries on Caitlin Clark. You have got people out here celebrating. Like, if you look at the quote tweets of the Indiana Fever tweeting Caitlin Clark got injured, the amount of celebratory tweets you've seen, the amount of celebratory tweets, and like people like celebrating that she got hurt. And the only reason I have to say this is that side of the fan base people are being told that does not exist, that does not happen. And it's clear as day because it's public.
The WNBA's failure to protect Clark enabled this poisonous environment to flourish. When the league allows physical targeting without punishment, it sends a message that Clark is fair game. When fans see their favorite players getting away with cheap shots, they feel justified in celebrating when those tactics finally work. The corrupt officiating created a culture where hurting Clark became acceptable.
You've got the media out here. Again, Elle Duncan has gone full on unhinged, it seems. Like, obviously, Caitlin Clark fans have called out some of her stuff, so now she's gone fully, it seems like she's fully gone anti-Caitlin Clark fans. She's gone and attacked them. She's gone on a tirade.
Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's complete failure to address the targeting represents leadership at its worst. She never made strong public statements defending her biggest star. She never addressed the obvious pattern of dirty play. Her silence gave everyone permission to treat Clark like a target instead of protecting the player, bringing unprecedented attention to the league. The inconsistent foul calls throughout Clark's rookie season, which extended to this year, tells the whole story. Players could grab her jersey, bump her off screens, and deliver hard contact with minimal consequences. Meanwhile, Clark got called for the smallest infractions. The referees created an environment where defenders knew they could get away with physical play against her. The league that allowed bullies to injure their golden goose deserves every consequence coming their way. The toxic fan base celebrating this injury reflects the culture the WNBA created through negligent officiating and weak leadership. Now the Fever must figure out how to survive crucial upcoming games without their superstar.
The difference is that one of them are called, one group are called the scum of the earth. And because of that one group, every single person that is a fan of Caitlin Clark is called by the media not too far off the scum of the earth. And one group is, according to the media, not real. This is not real. This did not happen. None of this is real. So that's just my opinion on this all. My opinion on all of this is that everything's wrong. Like, all of this is wrong. Everything when it comes to the WNBA media is just crazy.
With their franchise player sidelined, the Fever face their biggest test yet. The upcoming schedule features Washington, Connecticut, and Chicago, teams that should be manageable if Indiana can execute properly. But here's the reality check. The Fever's offensive rating crashes from 107.5 with Clark on the floor to a pathetic 82.2 without her. That's not just a drop. That's falling off a cliff.
I think so. I think that's the advantage of our depth, right? And we, Sophie had injury early as well. I think it's the advantage of us, the depth that we added in the offseason, that we're equipped. Certainly we'd rather have it early than late. It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity. It's a great opportunity for our team to play in a different way.
Coach Stephanie White knows exactly what needs to happen. She's already planning tactical shifts that will redistribute the offensive load across multiple players. White said, "It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity without Caitlin." Translation: they need to prove they're more than just a one-woman show. The pressure is on everyone to step up when it matters most.
And I also think it's a great opportunity for Caitlin to watch the game from the sideline and to grow in almost like a coaching kind of mindset and see some different things that we might be talking about on film, addressing in practice to see it develop in live action.
Aaliyah Boston becomes the focal point of White's new strategy. Boston is averaging 18.5 points and 10.8 rebounds per game, but White plans to get her more involved in the post. Last season, 39% of Boston's possessions came via post-ups. This year, that number dropped to just 18.3% as White emphasized Boston rolling to the basket in pick-and-roll sets with Clark. Without Clark running those plays, Boston needs to return to her bread and butter down low. Kelsey Mitchell gets the biggest responsibility increase. She'll handle primary playmaking duties while maintaining her scoring output. Mitchell has been the Fever's most consistent offensive weapon outside of Clark, and now she needs to prove she can carry the team when the spotlight gets brighter. The ball will be in her hands more than ever before.
I don't think we change how we play. I think we change what the emphasis is, right? Our off-ball actions as opposed to some of our on-ball actions. When we get to our on-ball actions, utilizing our personnel in a different way. You might not see as much of AB getting the ball on a dive in a pick and roll as you would in some of the other off-ball screening actions that get her to that point. Or where our shots come from. A lot of times with C and the ball in our hands, our shots are coming up off the break, right? Now we might get the ball moving inline to inline when we're moving it side to side. So I don't think it changes how we play. I think it just changes the emphasis on the actions that we get to.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull get their chance to show what they're made of. Both players have been solid contributors, but now they need to elevate their games to fill the scoring void. The Fever added veterans like Natasha Howard, Sydney Colson, and Dewana Bonner during the offseason specifically for depth situations like this. Time to see if that investment pays off. White sees a silver lining in this disaster. She explained that this gives Clark a great opportunity to watch the game from the sideline and to grow in almost like a coaching kind of mindset and see some different things that we might be talking about on film. Clark will learn the game from a completely new perspective while her body gets proper rest.
Oh, there's so many things when you think about Caitlin and her not wanting to miss games. Obviously, she's a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play. But for me, it's maintaining perspective, right? It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect long term, that we take care of it. Don't over push, don't overexert, making sure that we take the long game approach to this, so that we're not having lingering issues throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that, sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. I'm glad that she did, because we need to nip this in the bud.
White's approach focuses on long-term thinking. She said, "It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect long-term, that we take care of it. Don't overpush, don't overexert, making sure that we take the long game approach." This forced break might actually help Clark's development and prevent bigger issues down the road. The Fever's depth and coaching will be tested, but surviving these next few weeks could make them significantly stronger when their superstar returns. The WNBA created this mess through pure negligence and corrupt officiating. They allowed dirty players to target their biggest star while refs look the other way. Now they'll watch ratings crash and revenue disappear as empty arenas remind them what happens when you fail to protect your golden goose. But here's what gives me hope. Clark will return stronger after proper rest and learning the game from the sideline. She's never missed games before, so this forced break might actually help her long-term development. When she comes back, she'll be hungrier than ever. The Fever will be battle-tested from surviving without her, making them a more complete team for the playoff push ahead. Let's wish Caitlin a speedy recovery by commenting "Get well soon CC" down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.